Good morning, men. Happy Wednesday morning. This is being filmed from the actual GoPro, so be patient with us as we continue to figure it out, but thank you to Peter for helping to set it up. I also want to remind you that we have worship tonight at 7 p.m. It's a dessert and devotion in the sanctuary, and we hope that you would be a part of that with us tonight as we continue to look at the songs of lament and how they are songs of suffering sung in hope. So please join us tonight for that. Now, for this morning's devotion, the appointed reading for the lectionary today is Mark chapter 7, verses 1 through 23. And we're actually going to take a smaller piece of that today and really just look at Mark 7, 1 to 8. Doesn't mean you can't read on for your own personal devotion, but I'm just going to talk to that first section. Mark 7, 1 to 8. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were unclean, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they came from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. And they observe many other traditions, such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders instead of eating their food with unclean hands?" He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites. As it is written, 'These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men. You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to the traditions of men.'" You see, the problem with the Pharisees and the teachers of the law was never that they weren't devoted. They were men very devoted. The problem Jesus brings out in their concern is their devotion isn't to God and what God says about a thing. Their devotion is to their own traditions and things that were taught by men. And so they try to attribute to themselves some superior spirituality because they go through this ceremonial washing, when Jesus is saying, look, what the Lord wants is the devotion of our hearts to him. He wants us to live according to his law. He wants us to not be so concerned with a ceremonial washing nearly as much as the commandment of, which Jesus will speak about later, honoring your father and your mother. That matters far more to God than some ceremonial tradition made up by men and doing something that God never called you to do. And so this is where we see it's not a matter of devotion. It's a matter of what is the object of our devotion? And what is it that leads us and guides us? The Word of man or the Word of God? Men, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that I see you tonight.